Hey guys, this is Jennifer Cox for ELED 4872. I am doing the campaign project for Howard Gardner. I hope you guys enjoy. Hello, my name is Howard Gardner and I was born in a small town called Scranton, Pennsylvania in 1943 to German immigrant parents named Ralph and Hilda. Being Jewish in Germany in the early 1900s was very bad, as you can imagine, so my parents fled to the United States a few years before I was born. After graduating high school, I packed my bags and moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts to the famous and renowned Harvard University in hopes of becoming a lawyer. During my time in college, I was lucky enough to have the famed Eric Erickson as a tutor who pushed me to give up my law career and instead follow in his footsteps as a scholar. As Erickson wished, I began to steadily drift away from studying law and moved my interest to psychology and the social sciences. I graduated Harvard with my bachelor's in social relations and my doctorate in developmental psychology. Still today, I am a professor at Harvard University Graduate School of Education and director of Harvard Project Zero, which is a program to help improve education in the arts. Explanation of my learning theory. The idea of multiple intelligences comes out of psychology. It's a theory that was developed to document the fact that human beings have very different kinds of intellectual strength. These strengths are very, very important in how kids learn and how people represent things in their minds. If we all had exactly the same kind of mind and there was only one kind of intelligence, then we would teach everybody the same thing in the same way and assess them in the same way, and that would be fair. But once we realize that people have very different kinds of minds, different kinds of strengths, then education, which treats everybody in the same way, is the most unfair education. Because it picks one kind of mind, which I call the law professor mind, somebody who's very linguistic and logical and says, if you think like that, great. If you don't think like that, there's no room on the train for you. I guess you could say that I'm most famous for my multiple intelligence theory. I view intelligence as the capacity to solve problems or to fashion products that are valued in one or more cultural setting. And I have devised 8 main regions of intelligence. So many ways to show your smarts, heart to heart and part by part. Multiple intelligences makes you a star. Everyone's smart, yes you are. Verbal linguistics, smart with words. Reading, writing, things you heard. Words are your thing, got the gift of gab. Yes, your word's smart, and that ain't bad. Musical, rhythmic, music smart. Songs and rhymes fill your heart. Is music your thing? Do you sing and dance? Your music's smart, give it a chance. So many ways to show your smarts. Heart to heart and part by part. Multiple intelligences makes you a star. Everyone's smart, yes you are. Logical, mathematical is number smart. Solving puzzles every part. Step by step you reason it out. Your number's smart and there's no doubt. Visual, spatial, picture smart. Express yourself with works of art. Splashes of color designing too. There's so many ways to show you're smart. Heart to heart and part by part. Multiple intelligences makes you a star. Everyone's smart, yes you are. Picture smart, yes it's true. Bodily kinesthetic, the athletic view. Moving about and acting too. Using your hands, playing the role. Your body's smart, you steal the show. Naturalistic intelligence, the outdoor you. Loving trees and plants too. Watching birds and collecting leaves. Your nature smart, free as the breeze. So many ways to show your smarts. Heart to heart and part by part. Multiple intelligences makes you a star. Everyone's smart, yes you are. If you're a personal smart, the people person you. Getting along with others too. Work in groups, love to share. Your people smart, you really care. Intrapersonal smart about the self. Knowing yourself, the real top shelf. Setting goals on your own. You're so smart, yes you alone. So many ways to show your smarts. Heart to heart and part by part. Multiple intelligences makes you a star. Everyone's smart, yes. Now as with most Well, actually, as with all theories, there are pros and cons. John White, a social psychologist, questions the adequacy of my work. White believes that I haven't provided enough proof to my theories, but he's an idiot. Another issue people have with my theory of multiple intelligences is that they believe my theories originate rather more strongly from my own perceptions and thoughts rather than from widespread comprehensive experimental research. I guess these imbeciles haven't bothered to research me to see that I have spent the greater part of my adult life studying people and their learning styles at Harvard University. Anyone with a brain can see that my theory makes complete sense and gives an equal opportunity to all students. How my theory applies to the elementary classroom and all classrooms. Let me just give you my opinion here and say that I think we teach way too many subjects in school and we cover way too much material. And usually the end result is that students have a very superficial knowledge that doesn't get them where they need to be in life, because once they leave school, almost everything has been forgotten. I think that school needs to change into having a few priorities and to really go into those priorities very deeply. I think that for there to be a long-standing change in American education that is widespread rather than just on the margin, first of all, people have to see examples of places that are like their own places, where the new kind of education really works, where students are learning deeply, where they can exhibit their knowledge publicly, and where everybody who looks at the kid says, that's the kind of kid I want to have. So we need to have enough good examples. Second of all, we need to have the individuals who are involved in education, primarily teachers and administrators, believe in this, really want to do it, and get the kind of help that they need in order to be able to switch, so to speak, from teacher-centered, let's stuff the stuff into the kid's mind kind of education, to one where the preparation is behind the scenes and the child himself or herself is at the center of learning. Third of all, I think we need to have assessment schemes that really convince everybody that this kind of education is working. And it's no good to have child-centered learning and then have the same old multiple choice tests that were used 50 or 100 years ago. Finally, I think there has to be a political commitment that says this is the kind of education that we want to have in our country, and maybe outside this country for the foreseeable future. And as long as people are busy bashing teachers or saying that we can't try anything new because it might fail, then reform will be stifled as it has been in the past. Thank you, and I approve this message.